They say they want her to go away. They claim she's irrelevant. They shout from the rooftops that the public is bored of her. And yet, if you look at the homepage of the Daily Mail on any given hour of any given day, there she is, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are pulling back the curtain on what can only be described as a toxic industrial-scale obsession. We're talking about the Daily Mail and its relentless bad faith crusade against Meghan. We've just seen the Sussexes wrap up a phenomenal record-breaking tour of Australia this April 2026, and while the crowds in Melbourne and Sydney were roaring with love, the Daily Mail newsroom was clearly having a collective meltdown. Why? Why does a newspaper that claims to despise her spend more time monitoring her than a private investigator? The answer is simpler than you think, and it's dirtier than you can imagine. Today, we're using Occam's razor to slice through the lies and expose the Meghan hate machine. Let's start with the sheer math of the malice. During the first 19 days of April 2026, right as Harry and Meghan were touching down in Australia, the Daily Mail published 70 news stories using Meghan as a hook. 70. That is nearly 4 stories a day, every single day. On April 16th, during the height of the tour, they were pumping out a story on the couple roughly every 2 hours, between 5 a.m. and 3 p.m. But it gets even more unhinged. The following day, they published 3 stories in just 12 minutes. 11:23 a.m., a report on a rugby match. 11:35 a.m., a hit piece on a wellness event. 11:37 a.m., a fashion breakdown of her shirt. Think about that. In the time it takes you to make a cup of coffee, the Daily Mail editorial team had already found 3 different ways to monetize Meghan's existence. This isn't journalism. It's an assembly line of vitriol. And the reason? It's the clickbait economy. They hate-watch her so their readers can hate-click, and every click puts money in the pockets of the very people Harry is currently fighting in court. And that brings us to the why. You see, this isn't just about clicks, it's about revenge. We are currently in the fallout of the High Court case in London, where Prince Harry, alongside 6 other major figures, has alleged that associated newspapers used unlawful means to steal their private lives. We're talking voicemail hacking, landline bugging, and hiring private investigators to deceive and destroy. While the judge takes his time to reach a verdict, the Mail is striking back. They can't win in a court of law with facts, so they're trying to win in the court of public opinion with invective. It's a second front in an ongoing war. Every time Harry stands up for his family's privacy, the Mail responds by invading it even further. It's a schoolyard bully tactic, but on a global media scale. Let's look at a masterclass in how they spin the truth. Meghan attended the Her Best Life retreat in Sydney, a beautiful event focused on women's empowerment, yoga and mental health. The Mail tried to frame this as some kind of hostage situation where fans were being scammed. They screamed about the $1,800 ticket price, implying Meghan was money-spinning. But here's the reality the Mail won't tell you. These women were there willingly. They wanted to be there. They wanted to hear from a woman who has demonstrated more resilience in the face of global bullying than most of us could ever imagine. The Mail claimed Meghan bemoaned her very hard life. If you actually listen to what she said, instead of the Mail's filtered version, she was talking about the reality of enduring a decade of targeted attacks. She wasn't complaining. She was stating a fact. A fact that the Daily Mail's own archives prove to be true. They create the fire, then mock her for saying it's hot. This next part would be funny if it wasn't so pathetic. After Harry and Meghan visited a children's hospital in Melbourne, a visit that was warm, emotional, and privately funded, by the way, the Mail found a few seconds of footage and treated it like the Zapruder film of the JFK assassination. They wrote a 564-word article based on a 2-second clip of Meghan's facial expression while talking to their chief of staff. They called it a glare. They claimed her mouth tightened. They literally used nasty jokes and smears lifted from the darkest corners of X, formerly Twitter, and presented it as analysis. When you have to spend 500 words explaining why a 2-second blink is proof of a marital crisis, you aren't a news outlet. You're a fan fiction site for trolls. They take a moment of pure humanitarian work, visiting sick children, and try to turn it into a grotesque parody of a soap opera. The hypocrisy is truly boundless. On one page, the Mail News reporters are calling Meghan self-pitying and tin-eared for speaking about her mental health. Their tame columnists like Sarah Vine accuse her of monetizing her misery. But look at the other side of the page. Their fashion section is prying apart every thread of her outfit, providing affiliate links so they can earn a commission when you buy a similar shirt. They are literally monetizing her image while simultaneously trying to destroy her character. They call her Meghan Markle, using her maiden name as a subtle way to signal she doesn't belong, that she's an interloper or the American. It's coded language designed to keep their readership in a state of constant low-level rage. Because rage is profitable. Malice is a business model. At the end of the day, you don't even have to be a fan of Meghan to see how dangerous this is. This is a multi-billion-dollar media empire dedicated to the systematic character assassination of one woman. Why? Because she stood up. Because she left. And because she and Harry are actually holding these tabloids accountable in a way no one else ever has. The Daily Mail knows that if Harry wins his legal battles, the old way of doing business, the hacking, the lying, the stalking, is over. So they rumble on, fueled by their own desperation. But here's the thing. We see through it. The crowds in Australia saw through it. And I know you see through it too. If you're tired of the lies, if you're done with the tabloid bullying, and if you want to support a channel that actually speaks the truth about the Sussexes, then you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button right now. Join the community. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a deep dive. We are going to keep tracking these journalists and exposing their bad faith every step of the way. Leave a comment below. Did you see the Australia tour coverage? What was the most ridiculous Daily Mail headline you spotted? Let's talk about it in the comments. Thanks for watching, stay tuned, and remember, the truth always comes out in the end. See you in the next one.